You hate yourself. He's eating you up because you ain't done a goddamn thing about it.
Oh, God damn it. In front of this God, I'd rather die as the devil and live as Mount Murdoch.
Being a daredevil used to be a figure of speech till Netflix and Marvel joined forces to give us a character so likable that he's extended his existence to the MCU as well. On that note, let's take a look at the top 25 times when Daredevil flexed too hard.
You're the lawyer.
If you're looking for the man Hector Ayala saved on the subway platform, sadly he's no longer here.
Move. Move!
Yep, we're kicking things off with the new show, and I'm glad to say that it does have enough merit to be on a TV Regent list. Taking on corrupt cops shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone, and after seeing how many times Matt was trying to stop Powell and his buddy from provoking him, you could tell that he was just a moment away from letting out all his suppressed rage. And oh boy, once those dirty cops push him to his limit, they get pulled into a world of hurt.
Go ahead.
He's a lawyer. Don't do it. No, don't do this. Don't do this. You don't want to do this.
Matt leaves no mercy for either of them, even giving Powell a really visible injury that I'll be talking about a little later on in this video. Overall, it's a super display of Matt's rage and what he's capable of when he actually wants to flex his strength.
Drop the gun! Drop it! You okay, sir?
Yes.
Get in your apartment. Lock the door.
What about you?
I'm good.
Daredevil's first name was the Devil of Hell's Kitchen, and I personally like that name a lot better because it's got such a nice ring to it. He kind of owns that persona in this scene too, as he beats down the dogs of hell after breaking all the lights, ensuring that he's fighting in his own backyard. Darkness. I also loved how he let out a brief chuckle after revealing to his opponents that the gun he had was empty. Bro dominated the fight even after that, so I guess we can all safely say that there's no normal human who can compete with his skill set. Oh, and I gotta give props to the cinematography too, because the camera was following the action through and through.
Take Sammy into the bathroom and lie down in the tub now!
Saving people is a run-of-the-mill thing for Daredevil, but sometimes he does it with a lot more ease, such as in this home invasion sequence. Nadim's a great guy in general, and he didn't deserve the eventual hand that was dealt to him, but at least here, Matt managed to save him and his family from certain harm. Taking down the attackers was pretty easy for our man, but what made it even more badass was the way he just stood in front of the dude aiming his gun at him, knowing fully well that it didn't have any bullets. That's a heck of a lot of confidence for a blind guy, but I guess that's why this dude has 2 separate TV shows named after him.
Well, I trust you. You saved Karen Page's life tonight. So I owe you one.
Officer Powell, good morning. I'm told you have a black eye. I hope everything is okay.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
You know, there's this thing they say in boxing, the best cure for a black eye is fast hands.
Objection. Sustained. Come on, Mr. Murphy.
Beating down police officers is one thing, but then mocking them in an open court is a whole other flex. Matt accomplishes this against Powell when he makes a rather hurtful comment about his black eye. Keep in mind that Matt himself is the one who gave him that injury, so it's essentially him flexing over Powell because he knows the dirty cop can't say anything about it in court.
You know, Murdoch, I bet Judge Cooper would be interested to hear that you're interfering with a police investigation.
Oh, I think you mean a shakedown.
Well, that doesn't exactly seem ethical. I bet he'd throw you right off the case.
Well, at least I won't go to jail.
Using a boxing analogy was nasty work, and even the judge had to step in because I'm pretty sure that wasn't the only burn Matt had in his mind. It's a very simple statement, and it establishes Matt as the dominant force right from the get-go. Even though Powell feigned ignorance during his questioning, we could see that Matt still got what he wanted from this session. The confidence on display showed us a very different side of Daredevil, although you're going to get pretty used to me saying that about this show moving forward.
Is that why you did it?
You have yourself a nice day.
He had a family. He had a future, and you took that away from him. There are 25 goons in the building. 7 below us, 8 in the front, and 10 in the hallway.
How do you know that?
I can hear their heartbeats.
You can hear their heartbeats? Come on, that's a little far-fetched.
If you're a fan of anime and isekai, then you'll be familiar with the harem genre where the MC just keeps adding girls to his group till he becomes some kind of ultimate Riz master. Well, Matt Murdock is the live-action version of this character, and you'll see a couple more such instances moving forward in this video. Seeing a She-Hulk entry in a TV region video is like finding a beef steak at a vegan barbecue. But here we are anyway. The scene is quite simple, as Matt reveals to Jen that he can identify the number of their opponents by listening to their heartbeats. Naturally, she doesn't buy it, but when Bro activates Chad mode and tells her that he can hear hers as well, while also mentioning how her heart is beating quite rapidly.
I can hear yours too. Your heart's beating pretty fast.
What? No, it's not. I'm healthy.
This was enough to make even someone as spiteful as Jen fall for him, which is a pretty neat accomplishment, given that Matt falls under the 3 unholy categories for such women, being straight, white, and male.
Yeah, and I will do my thing.
You don't have a thing. You don't ever do this. Just follow my lead.
Okay, I guess that's pretty cool.
That's great. Thank you. Well, I have some good news, Peter. I don't believe any of the charges against you are going to stick.
Wait, seriously?
I knew it.
Nice. Oh my God, Mr. Murdoch, thank you.
Thank you, Mom.
That's amazing.
Flexing your reflexes in front of a character who literally has a sixth sense skill named after his hero name is noteworthy AF, and Daredevil achieves that in this short yet highly effective cameo. Spider-Man No Way Home was so overwhelming because of Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield coming in that we almost forgot about Matt Murdock's brief appearance that basically confirmed his continuity in the MCU. Being able to grab that brick in an instant was super slick, and even Peter Parker was shocked to see how fast Daredevil was.
Peter, you may have dodged your legal troubles, but things will get much worse. There is still a court of public opinion.
Of course, he brushes it off by saying he's a really good lawyer, but we all know how he was able to pull it off. Needless to say, it's one of the best guest appearances I've ever seen in this franchise.
How did you just do that?
I'm a really good lawyer.
You hate yourself. He's eating you up because you ain't done a goddamn thing about it.
Oh, God damn it, God damn you. Sorry.
Conversations between the Punisher and Daredevil are bound to be epic, and in this case, it actually led to Matt slapping Frank in a sheer act of anger. It's very rare to see someone like him lose his cool so easily, but Frank was egging him on with all that talk about Foggy. Daredevil sure looked like he was ready to throw hands with the Punisher, but he luckily manages to retain his demeanor, which is an impressive feat considering all the emotions that are running through his head. And yes, I also want to shout out how he honored his fallen friend by saying neither he nor Frank could ever be able to match Foggy's decency, no matter how many lives they saved in their lifetime.
He was the kindest, purest soul I ever met. And guys like you and me, we could work a lifetime and never measure up to his decency.
Dominating a man as aggressive as Frank Castle in a fight is tough enough, but to completely shun him in an argument is no easy task.
So what now? Every day Bullseye goes to the chow hall, eats his slop. You know he gets to breathe the same air that you breathe. You feel good about that? He got life!
Now, Ms. Walters chose to have her identity be public, but it isn't up to her to choose for everyone else. This isn't about privacy for privacy's sake. If this information is not protected, not only would it ruin my client's career, it could put a lot of people in a lot of danger. And all over one man's misuse of a suit.
I'm in agreement with Mr. Murdoch. Motion to compel discovery is denied.
Yep, I'm just as shocked as you are that in a Daredevil video, we've got not one, but 2 scenes from She-Hulk. In my defense, both these scenes have been flexing too hard to be ignored, so they deserve their spots for sure. The first one was a simple case of blind charm, but this one right here reminds us once again that Matt Murdock is a super smart lawyer. The way he dismantles Jen's case in the matter of just a couple of minutes was some serious savagery on display.
Mr. Patilio, what kind of fuel did you use in your boosters?
Jet fuel.
Wait a minute, you used jet fuel in your boosters? Because that's not what my instructions said.
What? No, I didn't.
He's lying.
Bro didn't even need to take the case seriously and gets the whole motion dismissed once he exposes Jen's client for not even following the defendant's instructions in the first place. Yes, this does make She-Hulk look really stupid and a careless lawyer, but given how the show went, well, I'd say it's great to finally see something that the audience enjoys.
Luke,
Yes, clown.
I just wanted to apologize
For daring to question my craftsmanship.
Is there any way that we could go back to you being my tailor?
Jennifer, Jenny, Jen. No, because I hate you now.
Okay, before I move ahead with this entry, let me just say that I'm aware of Muse's superpowers in the comics, but I'm glad they left them out for this show because it would have made his defeat impossible at the hands of Daredevil. This show's really gone on to defy expectations in terms of Matt's persona, but then again, the dude's grieving like crazy over Foggy, so it's not surprising to see him turn to the dark side. Hanging Muse the way he did was absolutely cold, although I'm not sure if he's dead or alive right now. They made this whole phase for Matt very confusing. Anyway, the battle between Matt and Muse was intense, but at the end of the day, there could only be one winner, and it was our very own Daredevil. Look, I don't want to say that hanging people is a flex, okay? But the finishing blow he inflicted was just way too brutal to be left out of this video.
You're probably wondering what a man who can't see is doing in an art gallery.
I didn't want to be forward.
I'm told by my guests my apartment's a bit stark. I thought maybe some art would warm it up.
Oh man, the Kingpin is a dude you really don't want to be messing with. But if you happen to be Matt Murdock, then you're not really scared of much, are you? Bro was shamelessly flirting with Vanessa during their first ever interaction, despite knowing that she was Wilson Fisk's woman. From bragging about his female guest to straight up asking if she's single, our man didn't hesitate at all when it came to pouring out the charm. And while I know they didn't really show Vanessa giving into his flirtations, I'm pretty sure his words made some kind of impact on her.
Give me an idea what you're after.
I am not sure.
Good. Art isn't furniture. If you knew exactly what you were looking for, you'd be just decorating.
Yes, at the risk of Kingpin showing up at my house with rage, I can safely assume that Vanessa would have also turned into one of Matt's female guests had she not already been with Fisk at the time. I thought he did well impressing an annoying She-Hulk, but it really takes a special kind of talent to be able to woo the enemy's love interest.
Tell me, do you have a man in your life?
Matthew, are you hitting on me?
I just mean, what is he like? What does he respond to? If I could get inside the head of the man who won the heart of such a charming woman, it would inform my decision.
Well, you could always ask him yourself.
You don't trust?
Oh man, I never really understood this Nobu dude because until I watched Daredevil, I only knew it was a super famous Japanese restaurant that rappers like Kanye West and Drake would mention in their songs. Anyway, Nobu in Daredevil was a whole other beast, and he really gave our hero a run for his money during their first fight. However, during this particular encounter, Bro had to incur Matt's wrath after losing his girl Elektra via sudden sacrifice. Yeah, heroes don't usually react well to the heroines dying, and in this case, Matt genuinely went for the kill. He did get an assist from the Punisher, but make no mistake, Nobu wasn't going to survive this assault either way. Okay, he does technically get revived once again, but Stick made sure it wouldn't happen again, thus making Matt a killer and not a killer at the same time. That really is some kind of special achievement, don't you think?
This time, you piece of shit. Last chance, I will not hesitate to put you down. On your knees, do it.
Keep your eyes on.
All right, nice and slow. Got it?
Yeah.
Normally, the good guys beat the Russians and hand them over to the cops in American movies because, well, just take a look at the films of the 80s and 90s or even the 2000s for reference. Here though, Matt Murdock saves the injured Russian and takes down two corrupt cops in a riveting encounter. Vladimir wasn't an angel, but Matt needed him for information, so when he realized that the cops apprehending them were actually corrupt, he wasted no time in showing them why they shouldn't mess with the Daredevil.
What about this asshole?
take care of him like we were told.
No witnesses.
Vladimir literally catches a stray bullet in the middle of all the chaos, which I personally found to be hilarious. The flex is that bro was able to do all of this while cuffed, so he was technically fighting with a disadvantage. And yeah, for good measure, he knocks out Vladimir again, just to avoid any excess drama.
How bad are you hurt?
I heard every spiteful word. You might hate God right now, but the feeling is not mutual.
No, I don't hate him. I've just seen his true face is all. And for the record, I had friends, I had a life. I care about people, and I'm choosing to let them believe that I'm gone because I am.
You've seen enough instances by now to know that flexes aren't the same as badass fights. The speech Daredevil gives to Sister Maggie in the opening episode of Season 3 is a good example of that. Please note that I'm not trying to say that everyone should flex like this, but the line Matt used was way too cold not to include in today's video. The fact that he confidently declares that he'd rather die as the devil than live as Matt Murdock does say a lot about the mental state he's in.
In front of this God, I'd rather die as the devil than live as Matt Murdock.
This is a man who's done being a nice guy and would rather assume his alter ego to be his true persona. His addiction to being Daredevil just makes the whole thing extremely deep. I also like the way he communicates with his eyes throughout the speech. The speed and frequency of his eyelids closing or not closing all the way, or even him closing his left and right eyelids varying paces, was a great touch to further the impact of the speech. Most importantly, the devil of Hell's Kitchen seemed like he finally wanted to have a conversation with God, and not a pleasant one.
God rained shit and misery on the life of his most perfect servant, and still, Job would not curse him. You know what I realized? Job was a pussy. You kill him, we have nothing.
Die. You just couldn't let it be, could you? You just couldn't let it.
Kill him, we got nothing, Frank!
It's important to claim the W only after genuinely achieving your goals. This was the one lesson that the Punisher may not have learnt up until the point where Daredevil had to explain to him that he was trying to kill the wrong target. We all know about the fake blacksmith situation, and so did Matt, which was why it was important for him to stop Frank from needlessly killing the wrong guy.
Frank, we're here for the same reasons, all right? I want the blacksmith just as much as you, but he's not him. I know when someone's telling the truth, Frank. He's not.
Bullshit, just get out of here!
Naturally, the Punisher didn't take too kindly to this truth, so he started lashing out at Daredevil for it. That's exactly where this flex comes in. Matt's able to beat him with relative ease, as compared to earlier, when he was even struggling to make an impact. Maybe it's because Frank was demotivated or whatever, but I'm not taking that as an excuse. Daredevil owned the Punisher fair and square. Bro even got him to start ranting about not being given a moment of peace thanks to his due diligence. I mean, this is how kids throw a tantrum, so it was quite a sight to see someone as deadly as the Punisher behave that way.
Just couldn't let me have it, could you? You just couldn't let me have it. 1 second of peace. It's right there. You had a sweep in. You feel good about yourself.
At this point, seeing Daredevil in a fight is just standard practice. But then again, I am covering his top flexes, so I just can't pick random brawls now, can I? That's why I've chosen his fight against the Yakuza attackers at entry number 11. Now, I would have loved to place this higher, but I can't deny the fact that Bro got some support from Elektra, so this wasn't exactly a solo achievement. The dark background is pretty much Matt's brand identity, so he definitely thrived in this background. But what does make him stand out here is that he's taken on 2 fighters at the same time for most of this sequence. Yeah, it was a delight to watch him put on such a show, especially in front of a woman who's almost as skilled as he is. Can't really say the same about those Yakuza fighters though. They all got their butts handed to them.
Can you see me?
No. Not see exactly. It's different.
Top 10 time calls for some serious flexing. So how about the time when Matt finally revealed to Karen that he's not just a blind lawyer with exceptional riz? Now, you'd think that this is more of a revelation scene than a flex scene, but take a look at how he proves to Karen that he does have the exaggerated senses synonymous with Daredevil. The man's able to deduce everything about Karen on her way here, like even the Indian restaurant where she had a drink. He even tells her how he can sense her nervousness after hearing this because he can hear her heartbeat too. Now, that would have freaked me out for sure if I was in her place.
See, I can smell the curry on your clothes, and I can
taste the Jamesons off your lips. I know that just telling you all that makes you uncomfortable, because I can hear your heartbeat.
Well, judging from her reaction, I'd say she's doing the same thing, but she does have the common sense to realize that Matt did save her life, even though he may have hidden something important from her. What really worked for me was how Matt was just agreeing with Karen, and she lashed out at him for not fighting back. See, women are just way too hard to understand, right? This dude is an elite level womanizer and can't even crack the code to what they're thinking. Also, I love the finishing touch when Karen realizes that Matt could even sense when she nodded. Bro was way too smooth for a guy confessing his lies.
How can I be this mad at someone who saved my life?
Because he's your friend, and you cared for him, and he broke your trust.
Yeah, stop agreeing with me. It's making it worse.
I'm gonna let you kill that kid. Oh, he's already dead. I caught up with the van while you were around with no boost, man. I put an arrow in that thing's heart.
Ah yes, the typical trope of the student surpassing his sensei has been seen across multiple films and TV shows, but here it means something entirely different for Matt, as he's up against Stick, who can actually relate to him better than most. Now, if I were to explain this scene in layman's terms, then it's a couple of blind dudes fighting each other, but if you look at the moves they put on display, you'd think that I was lying about their disabilities. You might think that beating an old man is more of an act of bullying, but trust me when I say that Stick is like an S-rank martial artist, as can also be seen in how he dominates the first half of this fight. It's interesting to note that Matt's only losing the fight when he tries to use the same techniques he's learned from Stick. However, when he starts boxing like his dad and doing acrobatics like himself, he manages to gain the upper hand and dismissively strikes down the man who trained him for the majority of his life. Then again, I guess you could say that the two of them never saw eye to eye with each other when it came to the value of life. Yeah, I know the pun was mean, I just had to use it, okay?
No killing.
Altar boy.
It's a completely different level of flexing when you not only end up saving someone as badass as the Punisher, but stopping him from killing anyone else in your presence. That's exactly what Matt Murdock does when he comes to save Frank Castle from his kidnappers, and it's a pretty cool sequence in general, even if you're not a fan of either character. Now look, it's not like the Punisher needed to be rescued or anything, because he does manage to break free, or as it's better described in the episode, he's loose. He also manages to get one part of his revenge for what happened to his family, but Daredevil prevents him from taking any further lives the moment he steps into the equation. I totally loved how he held Frank's hand right to prevent him from landing a killer blow. Plus, that didn't really stop him from beating the daylights out of all the other goons in the area. Most importantly, for someone like me, this is the first time we get to see both these characters fighting together rather than against one another. See, it's team-ups like these that make you want to come back for more.
Come on.
No.
Then I'll walk you home.
I've mentioned already how Matt Murdock's flexing doesn't just extend to fighting, but here, his wrist skills are maxed out to a whole other level. Karen Page is an exceptionally beautiful woman, and the only exception where I can actually compliment a woman named Karen. Naturally, our boy Matt seems to have some kind of spidey sense when it comes to rizzing attractive women, so he goes for broke in this rainy scene, which comes out quite well. As a matter of fact, now that I've spoken about spidey sense, this scene actually reminds me of the upside down kiss between Spider-Man and Mary Jane in terms of the whole vibe. I like how they showcase all of Matt's heightened senses, which exaggerates Karen's heartbeat and breathing, but damn, even without the dramatization, you could tell she was getting really excited over the notion that she was gonna get kissed. However, the real flex isn't the ability to wow such a knockout, but rather the ability to walk away and not let your intrusive thoughts take over. Karen was ready to have Matt come inside, but he activated Giga Chad mode as he wanted this whole day to remain perfect. You're a better man than me, Matt, because I would not have hesitated for even a second if she invited me to come in.
Good night, Karen.
Good night.
There. Why can't you blind it? Anybody? They're reloading. Wait, fire a weapon. There.
Daredevil's principles were a little twisted back in the days of his Netflix rendition. I mean, the guy wasn't ready to kill anyone himself, but he had no problem helping others do it. In this scene here, Matt acts as visual support for Nadeem while he shoots through a car, which I know sounds a bit odd considering the guy's blind. However, we all know that his abilities allow him to see in a different way, and he uses his skills to provide Nadeem with the assist he needs to score a blind kill shot. Okay, maybe calling it a kill shot is excessive, because we don't see any confirmed kills, but Matt didn't tell Nadeem where to shoot, so if he landed a hit in the head or the heart, my logic would have applied. Imagine how useful he'd be on top secret stealth missions. This was definitely the highlight of the sequence for me. But the real flex was seeing Matt break a woman's windshield with another guy's body and then calmly walk away, pulling off his whole blind act. Bro really went from, "I'm the devil of Hell's Kitchen," to, "Hello, can someone help me? Please, I'm so blind." Daredevil Born Again may not feel the same way as the OG Netflix show, but it's still pretty solid, especially if you consider the number of scenes I've covered from it despite the series still being broadcast on Disney Plus at the time of writing this script. The creators have done a lot of things right in this show, and keeping such a dark tone in the very first episode itself was probably the right move to generate hype around the show. Bullseye was introduced in the 3rd season of the Netflix show, but here he gets pounded and owned by Daredevil right off the bat. Well, we also need to keep in mind that our hero has literally just lost his best friend Foggy, so it would definitely mess him up in some kind of way. Considering that Bullseye was responsible for this, it was only fair that he'd receive judgment for Foggy as well.
I'm sorry. What? Who?
And yeah, Daredevil shows us a dangerous side to his persona as he relentlessly beats down his opponent and throws him off a freaking roof, which may have been an intentional callback to how he did something similar with Nobu, which I covered earlier. The sheer rage on display was such that Bullseye was actually running for his life. It's odd to see this because he was dominating Matt for the most part back in season 3. Of course, things do become different when you turn to the dark side.
I wanted to make this city something better than it is. Something beautiful. You took that away from me!
Ah yes, this was the grand finale of the first season and the moment all of us had been waiting for. Yes, Daredevil and Kingpin do face off against each other earlier, but that was after Matt got heavily injured by Nobu, so I wouldn't consider that a fair fight. Here though, the both of them are on equal footing, with Matt even having his new outfit for extra aura. The fight was just what we hoped it would be, with both opponents giving it their all and not holding back for their victory. You know, I always found it funny how Matt relies on his super hearing and sensory skills, along with all the various fighting styles he's learned throughout his life. Whereas when it comes to Wilson Fisk, it's only about street brawling and screaming like an animal. Daredevil really comes into his element here, as he's able to make someone as strong as Kingpin rely on using a weapon to take him down. The finishing blow was pretty neat as well. It allowed Matt to have an uninterrupted moment of rage without having to worry about killing his opponent. Shout out to Kingpin too, you know, because he's managed to become one of the most iconic Marvel villains without having any real kind of superpower. I wish I could have included some of the Punisher's solo scenes in this video, but the main subject is Daredevil, so I'll go with him. Now, the prison scene where Frank Castle loses it is easily one of the highlights of the show, so I guess Matt Murdock wanted to emulate it in his own way here. Taking down all of these prisoners was a neat display of skills, and even though he struggled during the fight, he didn't back down and made sure no one was left standing. I mean, the prisoners didn't even seem to be enough for Bro, as he went on to beat up a couple of the guards as well, that too with their own batons. I like how the music becomes a lot faster and more dramatic hectic as Matt's rage grows stronger with each hit throughout the scene. It's the behavior of a man who's done being backed into a corner. Also, I think these guys never seem to realize that Matt's not what they'd call an ordinary man. Kudos to the realism on display here too, like when Matt hits the guard's helmet with his baton and a piece of it breaks off because of it. Despite my praises though, and also despite the scene making it to number 3, I'll still admit that it doesn't top Frank's prison scene. Maybe I'll do a similar video for The Punisher too, you know. Okay, I know the word predator is kind of reserved for people like Epstein, Diddy, and, as Kendrick Lamar loves to remind us, Drake, but the term actually extends to anyone who hunts down innocents in order to achieve their own desires. Keeping that in mind, Kingpin and Bullseye pretty much fight right into the definition I just gave you, so seeing the both of them getting owned by Daredevil was a beautiful way to end the epic Netflix show. Okay, I'll be honest, okay? It's not like the both of them were attacking Matt at the same time. Rather, Bullseye may have even softened Fisk enough for Matt to take him down, but Daredevil did fight the both of them, so it still counts. I love how he eventually almost smashes Kingpin's skull and only stops when Vanessa begs him to. It was such an epic vibe, especially with the rage scream Matt lets out after that. It was an amazing final battle, and it gives me great joy to say that the devil of Hell's Kitchen won. And on a side note, I like how when Bullseye was fighting Fisk, he threw an object at him, but when Fisk responded, his choice of object was Bullseye himself. All in all, it was a satisfying end to a revolutionary show. Isn't it ironic that we're starting and ending this video with the second episode of the first season from each of the Daredevil shows? It's not like I planned it that way either, you know. There's no way this wasn't going to be number 1, because this was the scene that got the viewers hyped for what Daredevil could be. It's the first intense battle we witnessed from the show, and it presents Matt Murdock flexing against multiple opponents in the realest way possible. I've mentioned in my previous videos how it feels more realistic to see Daredevil tiring down and struggling, because that's indeed what would happen to a real dude, no matter how skilled he might be. Even so, his resilience and his endurance stand out the most as the Russians get a beating they'll never forget. Hallways have been something of a popular tool to use for fight scenes ever since Oldboy, but Matt Murdock is able to make this scene his own. Bro had unlimited aura as he made his entrance, and what makes it even better is the darkness that surrounds the scene. It highlights the darker side of being a vigilante, and even though it looks super badass, it isn't something that Matt would like to use as his first option. And yet, always remember that one of the main moments throughout this extended sequence was Daredevil throwing a microwave at one of his opponents. Hope you liked the video. Please subscribe to the TV region, and here's another video that I know you're going to enjoy.